Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're diving straight into some absolutely groundbreaking research from the Journal of Political Economy. And honestly, it uncovers a terrifying paradox. It's all about wealth, survival, and a harsh reality that completely, utterly defies common sense.
So, think about this for just a second. If your community gets richer, do you get safer? I mean, it's the universal assumption, right? Escaping poverty is supposed to be your ticket to a secure, peaceful life? Well, wrong. Completely, brutally wrong. The data actually shows that for certain groups, escaping poverty absolutely does not buy you a security system. No, it literally paints a giant target on your back.
Section 1. Richer means more dangerous. The trap of economic growth. Let's get into it.
7,000. That is the staggering, heartbreaking number of people who died in Hindu-Muslim riots in India between 1950 and 2000. And, these aren't just dry statistics. These are actual lives destroyed in these sudden, vicious outbreaks of violence. The stakes here are absolute life and death. But we have to ask, why did they die? Was it just, pure ancient religious hatred?
Not quite. Take a look at this quote straight from the source material. Riots are nothing more than a particularly brutal method of protecting merchants' market share. That right there, that changes everything. It turns out religious zeal is often just a mask. The violence is actually a disguise for cold, calculated economic warfare.
Section 2. The glaring data truth. What the numbers actually say. Let's look at the hard data.
The researchers tracked household expenditure as a proxy for wealth, and the results are wild. When Hindu wealth went up, violence went down. Makes sense. But when the minority group, Muslim wealth, went up, violence spiked. The exact same economic progress created two completely, totally opposite results.
The math here is incredibly visceral. Just a tiny 1% rise in Hindu per capita expenditure dropped casualties by up to 7%. But a 1% rise in Muslim expenditure, it became a literal death warrant, spiking casualties by 3 to 5% almost immediately. And the raw data brilliantly visualizes this. You can see this terrifying, clear upward trend line. As Muslim expenditure increases, regional casualties rise right along with it. Economic success literally breeds bloodshed. It is a completely anti-common sense reality.
Section 3. Economic logic of violence. The autopsy of a riot. Let's break down why this happens.
Here is the deadly trap step by step. Step 1, your community gets slightly richer. You're now a juicier target. Step 2, attackers look over and they see higher potential loot. They want what you have. Step 3, you're a bit richer, sure, but you're still way too poor to buy real physical security like high walls or gated communities. So, Step 4, you still have to rely on your neighbors to defend you. But their time just got more valuable because the whole group is making more money. Suddenly, human defense just got way too expensive.
And look, this isn't just theoretical. The research grounds this in grim reality. Over in Varanasi, successful Muslim sari dealers were explicitly targeted. In Merit, Muslim powerloom owners diversified their businesses and entire rows of their shops were burned to ashes. Why? They were destroyed simply because they became competitive economic threats to the majority. What we're seeing is a massive shift in equilibrium. The aggressor's desire to attack skyrockets exactly when the victim becomes just slightly more prosperous. The incentive to loot simply shoots up way faster than the victim's ability to protect themselves.
Section 4. Life's price versus security doors. The math of self-defense.
Basically, there are two ways to defend yourself. Human protection relies on your community. Now, it's cheap up front, but the cost rises as everyone's wages go up. Then you have physical protection, high walls, private guards. That has massive fixed costs. The poor have to rely on each other. Only the truly rich can just buy a fortress. So for low-income groups, getting slightly richer doesn't magically buy you that fortress. It just shifts the expected cost of an attack upward. Your defense stays exactly the same, but the target painted on your back gets much, much bigger.
So the absolutely crucial concept here is opportunity cost. Right? This is the price attackers pay by rioting instead of going to work. When the majority group, in this case Hindus, gets richer, their opportunity cost goes up. Rioting suddenly becomes a terrible financial decision. They just have too much to lose. And that is exactly why majority wealth brings peace.
Section 5. Who initiates the attacks? An uncomfortable deduction.
The mechanism driving the data is harsh, but it's undeniable.
Hindu wealth reduces riots because their opportunity cost to attack is too high. Muslim wealth increases riots because they suddenly become better targets for looting, and hey, attacking them eliminates business rivals. The violence is a completely calculated economic purge.
Now, let's address the study's limitations. Just to be perfectly clear, expenditure is used as a proxy for income. And obviously, the data absolutely cannot tell us who threw the very first stone in the street. A random fight can spark anywhere. But we are talking about the spark. We are talking about the fuel. The economic trends that cause that tiny spark to explode into mass violence, those are absolutely undeniable.
The researchers even tested the data across different time frames to ensure this wasn't some weird fluke. And even when you lag the data by years, that grim upward correlation refuses to disappear. The violent reaction to minority wealth holds true over time.
Section 6. Can wealth buy peace? The real price of progress.
So here is the ultimate takeaway. Economic growth does not automatically bring social peace. It just doesn't. For vulnerable minority groups, a slight increase in wealth can literally be a death warrant. Growth without security is nothing but an open invitation to be plundered.
I want to leave you with this really chilling question. If escaping poverty brings violence down upon you, what is the real price of progress? We really have to rethink everything we know about economics, wealth, and safety. Thank you for joining me on this explainer. Keep questioning the consensus.